Hey, happy Halloween to whoever just joined. Gonna get started here in a couple minutes. Gonna get all my stories put together first, and then we're gonna read some creepy pastas for this part one. And it's gonna be fun. Hey, happy Halloween, Kaylee. How are you? I hope you have a good one. Or Kylie. I think it's Kylie. Um, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your guys' names wrong, but yes, happy Halloween to you. I hope you are having a very good holiday. Um, Even if you guys don't celebrate Halloween, I still hope you guys have a great day. So yeah, just gonna send this link out and we'll get. Oh, Kaylee. Okay, I was right the first time. All right. Geez, see that's what happens when you second guess yourself. Um you're right the first time, and then when you get it wrong, my friend just texted me and said he's not live. Riot. Oh, okay. Yeah, for Galaxy, ignore the one I sent you too, because I just said I'm live right now. So ignore that one as well. Um, but yes, we are live right now. So I got a story on my phone. I'm mostly going to be reading the creepypastas off my phone, but I do have some saved to my computer that my friends sent in from other. So from Discord. So yeah, we are going to be reading some good stuff today. I need to find where this is. Art writing. Here we go. No, there we go. Hey, it's going good. I'm doing good. How's yours going, guys? I hope you guys are having a great Halloween. I just got back from my friend's house, which is why I was normally going to do this at 9 to midnight, but now I'm doing it to 10 to midnight. So, um, so I apologize for that. But yes, my Halloween's been going really good. I hope you guys are having a good day. I got my skeleton jackalope here, ready to assist us with the creepypastas. His mouth opens and closes. His name's Bonaparte. Um, so yeah, my Halloween has been pretty dang good so far. How is your guys? I mean, we all love Bonaparte. He's beautiful. But yeah, thank you. He's awesome. My one friend gave him to me from my one friend's sister gave him to me. So he's all the way from like way over in another city. So he's not native. He's not native to this state or this. He's native to the state, but not native to this town. No, I don't know. Okay, good. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna get started here in a minute. I actually also wrote a story for my English class. So my English class, we had to write a horror story yesterday for my English teacher. So Suzanne, if you're watching, shout out to you. I hope you like my story. I also took pictures of my story so I can read it on tonight's stream. So yeah, we're gonna hear my story tonight. We're gonna hear some other people's stories and some basic, well-known creepy pastas. And yes, you do. That'll look awesome on this wall. So hey, just whenever we hang out next time, Galaxy, you gotta just give that to me and I'll put it on the wall. You'll get a shout out and everything. So yeah, just whenever we see each other, just give me the drawing. I said that weird drawing. I said that like with a southern accent. Drawing, drawing. What's in a black eyed kid story? Ooh, that's cool. I'll have to read that sometime. Or actually, Galaxy, if you still have the story like saved electronically or something, send it to my email, which is in the link in description, and I can read it on the stream if you would like, if you still have it, that is. All right, but guys, it's been 5 minutes, so we're gonna get started. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to the Cryptocast first ever Halloween special. So happy Halloween to everyone, first of all. I hope you guys are having a really great Halloween. Even if you don't celebrate the holiday, I hope you're having a great day or great night. I hope I have no clue where it is, but Yes. Okay. So, Galaxy, if you find that, let me know, and I will and send it to me, and I'll definitely read it. But yes. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm gonna get started here. So this is only part one of the live stream that I'm doing right now. Part two will be part two will be at 11 o'clock. So we got like not a lot of time before we do the ghost hunt, which is part two, which is what everybody wants to see. So I'm doing that very soon. So we might as well just start reading these creepypastas that people have sent me. So let me see. So this creepypasta was written by Young Lutheran Christian in my Discord. So actually, is he still in my Discord? He hasn't really talked much. Yes, he is still in my Discord. All right. So, Young Lutheran Christian, shout out to you. So, we are going to read the story that he wrote for us. And it seems, from what I've read of it, it seems pretty good. And no, I don't accidentally clicked on something. All right, there you go. That's gone. So, yes, let me read this. So shout out to Young Lutheran Christian once again. So the year was 1945. The Second Great War was over. America thrived off of the war and became a boom country. But in the deep south of a little town called Gatlinburg, Louisiana, nothing improved. The old gravel paths that kicked up enough dust to build a shore were still existent. The sleepy town, with run-down mom-and-pop buildings, stayed foreclosed by the bank. The town was slow, and no one had money to spend. The town's main job source came from the corporate rice plantation and warehouse from the 20s. Only 3 people in the 1,200 population joined the cause to protect America: John Butterfield, Wayne Harlett, and Adam Smith. These gentlemen were friends until the happening. Adam Smith, my father, was sitting on the front porch reading the papers when I came home in a military jeep. I was home, the war was over, and he and mother rushed out the screen door to hug me. And they saw I brought Wayne and John with me. They lived about 4 blocks up the road, so they didn't mind staying for dinner. Mother cooked roast beef and rice. As me and my family conversed, my friends didn't hesitate to stuff their faces, rapidly cutting into the roast. As I tasted the rice and coughed slightly from how stale it was, and I proceeded to ask Mother, "Why do you always make rice with dinner, Ma?" She proceeded to respond, saying that is because they stockpiled the rice when the farm and warehouse was existent. And I asked, "Mind if me and the boys check it out?" Mother and father stopped cutting and slowly looked at each other. Then, rapidly making an excuse, saying, "Nah, we would prefer if you boys didn't. I hear there's a gang that likes to hang out there." We all laugh and say, "The army trained us for putting the lights out on people like that. If only I knew." They partially shake their heads and say, "Be careful." We grab our coats, and I catch in the glimpse of my eye, seeing Ma and Pa put her hand over her forehead, and all I thought was her being too damn motherly, wouldn't let me grow up. When we reached the warehouse, we tried entering the main door. It was bolted shut, and we tried wiggling and slamming it. It wouldn't budge. It wouldn't budge. It wouldn't budge. Hold on. Hold on. Was that one even finished? That one didn't seem. Hold on. Let me go to send message. He might have the full thing in his PM that he sent me. Oh, okay. He sent me a new one. So Okay, so my apologies, guys. He um did not finish um that's actually did he? If he okay, I apologize, guys. I don't think he finished that story, so okay. Hold on. Oh, this is set up so weird on here. Is there a way I can minimize this? Okay, no. Um, yes, okay, I found the story, guys. My apologies. He sent it to me like in a document, so I didn't see it. So, um, yeah, so we're just gonna pick up from where he left off. My apologies, guys. I did not. I didn't see it all the way. I'm just gonna. It's just kind of um set off. So it was just kind of I'm just gonna put this in a document. Um, so just give me 1 second. I'll start over. Um, because this was my bad. I didn't realize you sent me the whole story. Hey Ren, how are you? I'm surprised you're still up. It's good to see you. Okay, send it to me over Notepad. Hold on. Let me just put this in a. Let me just move this into a document. My apologies, guys. I will start this story over once I get this loaded up because he sent me over a document. So I thought he sent it to me all over in one Discord. So that is my fault. I apologize. Okay, much better. All right, guys, we got the whole story. So we're gonna start over from the beginning on this again. My apologies. And yes, thank you, Ren. This is Bonaparte. He's a little jackalope skeleton my friend's sister gave me. I also like to do voices with him, and he tells jokes. But yes, he's my son. All right, so now that I got this posted in a Word document, I'm going to start this over. I'm going to read it. So again, this is Young Lutheran Christian Story in my Discord server. So shout out to you. I apologize for not. I thought you sent it to me all in that one writing section. I didn't realize you sent me a document. So if you're watching, I apologize. I'm going to start this over. The year was 1945. The Second Great War was over. America thrived off the war and became a boom country. But in the deep south of a little town called Gatlinburg, Louisiana, nothing improved. The old gravel paths that kicked up enough dust to build a shore were still existent. The sleepy town, with run-down mom and pop buildings, stayed foreclosed by the bank. The town was slow and no one had money to spend. The town's main job source came from the corporate rice plantation and warehouse from the 20s. Only 3 people in the 1,200 population joined the cause to protect America: John Butterfield, Wayne Harlett, and Adam Smith. These gentlemen were friends until the happening. Adam Smith, my father, was sitting on the porch reading the papers. Oh, no, this is from Adam Smith's perspective, so he's the narrator. My apologies. My father was sitting on the porch reading the papers when I came home in a military jeep. I was home. The war was over. He and mother rushed out the screen door to hug me, and they saw I brought Wayne and John with me. They lived about 4 blocks up the road, so I didn't mind staying for dinner. Mother cooked roast beef and rice. As me and my family conversed, my friends didn't hesitate to stuff their faces, rapidly cutting into the roast. As I tasted the rice and coughed slightly from it being how stale it was, and I proceeded to ask Mother, "Why do you always make rice with dinner, Ma?" She proceeded to respond, saying, "That is because they stockpiled the rice when the farm and the warehouse was existent." And I asked, "Mind if me and the boys check it out?" Mother and father stopped cutting, slowly looked at each other. Then, rapidly making an excuse, saying, "Nah, we would prefer if you boys didn't. I hear there's a gang that likes hanging out there." We all laugh and say, "The army trained us for putting the lights out with people like that, only if we knew." The partially They partially shake their heads, putting the lights out. Wait, no, sorry, misread that. Um, hold on. They shake their head. They shake their heads and say, "Be careful." We grab our coats, and I catch the glimpse of. And I catch in the corner of my eye, my ma put her hand over her forehead, and all I thought was her being too damn motherly. Wouldn't let me grow up. When we reached the warehouse, we tried entering the main door. It was bolted shut, and we tried wiggling and slamming it. It wouldn't budge. But then I noticed that one of the old windows was open entirely, as if some animal was here. I told Wayne and John how I saw that out of the corner that the corner windows were open. We all hopped each other up with our palms and hoisted each other in immediately. We felt a chill, like the morning frost upon rising. We immediately heard distant lullabies, but apparently I was the only one that heard it. Upon shuddering and grabbing a match for my book, I brought a lantern with me and lit started finicking with my stick um of my matchbook. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a little hard to read. I brought a lantern with me and lit started finicking with my stick at my match, trying to properly light my lantern. My friends chuckled, but it wasn't my fear. At first, I had a minor shell shock from the battles I fought. We tried looking for the rice, but all we found was empty cans and rice flour sacks that were empty as well. I saw a shadow move past the boxes and I figured it was an animal. But to my shock and my friends, it was a girl. After uncovering her in the light, she started crying and told John to get the police. He went off while me and Wayne tried calming her down. Till she said, "I'm not sad because of mommy anymore. I'm sad because my new friends I met are not going to be around." I saw her face look up, with blood and tatters all over herself. We told John to hurry with the doctor too. Then we heard a slight thump. I asked the girl what she meant, trying to comfort her, and heard her point past my head, the behind me. I looked back and saw John grasping his own neck and saw blood drip from his hand, shivering and gurgling, attempting to speak, and he said, "I'm cold," and fell down. Wayne checked him, hauling so much energy to help him. But then I heard a music box singing "Happy Birthday." He also wanted me to play "Happy Birthday" music, like really creepy ones for the story, guys. But since "Happy Birthday" is a heavily copyrighted song, unfortunately, I can't do that. So I apologize. um, Happy Birthday. And then I heard Wayne scream and saw a man with a bloody beard, white eyes, strong, wearing overalls, 6 foot 8 inches. He had mangled Wayne's arm with what seemed to be a meat cleaver. I grabbed him and tipped the lantern, leaving it behind, running to the door, wriggled the knob, and I forgot it was shut. Then I took my shoulder and bashed the door louder. This time, the girl and the man were coming towards me, and the girl asked, "Daddy, don't let them leave. I want to play with my new friends forever." Um, I tried to take. I tried one last time with full force, bashed the door, making the entire frame fall, and carrying Wayne out as quickly as I could. The man and girl never pursued. They just stood outside the. They just stood outside the door frame, staring. I only looked back once, um, and I told him to stay. I looked back, I lost where I was, and ran the rest. Wayne started panning. 15 minutes later, only 3 miles to the police. I told him to stay and rest. I would get him help, I swore. I ran to the deputy, and he hopped up out of his chair and loaded his double barrel and grabbed a coat and went out with me in his car. As I managed to see Wayne in the distance, I saw a pike as his body had been impaled. I proceeded to explain to the deputy what happened. He thought I was crazy and killed them. I was sent to the Louisiana State Hospital for the mentally insane, and now I live a fresh hell daily. But today, after 1 week of being here, I went down to the cell after my meager breakfast and watching a patient get the straitjacket and carried off to shock therapy, I saw a new cell with someone named Unknown. I looked in and saw a padded cell, and it was the exact same girl and father looking back out from the padded cell. The girl said to me, "Look, Daddy, our friend came to play with us now forever." The end. Wow. Okay, that was pretty scary, guys. That was good. That was good. All right. Next story. Let me see. Let me go to the next. No. Okay, I might be getting some background noise here in a minute. I apologize. Hmm. Hmm. Come on, Gmail. Mm-hmm. Oh no. No, it only submitted half. Oh no. Regardless, it's getting too much. Sorry. I'll read this. Well, always. No. Well, I will read what I have, guys. I will read what I have. Um, all right, I will read the story right here. Don't say that, no. Get this off. So this was submitted by Elsewhere1 on my Tumblr. This is what my mom used to tell me. It's a long drive from town to our house. Um, in the country, most dirt and gravel roads. We would bike home from school. One day, there was a terrible accident where a man wrecked his car into trees that hung over the road. The police didn't allow us down the road that day. The next day, there were rumors at school that a terrible man was killed on that road, and that they could only find his legs. Riding home from school, it was getting late as winter was peeking around the corner, but we didn't hear much about it afterwards. As wrecks were pretty common in the country, but that night my brother couldn't sleep. He said he had seen the upper body of the man. Years went by, and I would ride down the back of my brother's scooter. But driving home on that road, he stopped. Remember, remember the wreck here, he said, he pushing me off the scooter. But it's dark, I objected. Don't start moving or the ghost will drag himself out of that ditch to grab you before driving off. Wow. That one's actually really creepy. Oh, this is a cool one. Okay. So this story is submitted by Briar Patton. So thank you for submitting this one. Shout out to you. This is one true story of many that I have to tell. I have seen aliens to demons, even Bigfoot at one point or another. Right now, I'll be telling the story when I saw Sheep Squatch, the West Virginian Bigfoot. My name is Briar. I'm a 20-year-old man, and I was born and raised in West Virginia, which is where the story takes place. My family has owned a small little Baptist church that resides down the same road I used to live in. The church is old, and behind it is even older abandoned park. The road to this park is made of dirt and is completely hidden behind the mountains. You wouldn't even know it's there if it wasn't for a locked gate. The gate made it impossible to walk right through without the key, unless you wanted to risk climbing over the gate. It was nearing Halloween, and I wanted to do something a little extra that year, so I managed to coax my best friend Phil and my twin sister Jo into walking up the road with me as the sun started going down over the mountains. Even though she was there, Jo fortunately didn't see the monster. We had just climbed over the gate, and I started telling past stories of horse rides that we used to do during special times of the year. But as the years went on, the place became abandoned because of the harsh upkeep. I'm sorry. Jo was bored of my stories, so she walked ahead of us and urged us to hurry so we could get back down by the mountain before the sun was completely out of the sky. There we go. I wasn't worried as she was about this. I wasn't as worried as she was about the sun going down, and neither was Phil. So I walked up slowly and enjoyed the view. We were more than halfway up this point and made a joke about how surprisingly quiet it was. The exact moment I said the joke, a cruel chance of fate, we both heard something snap to our left, and what was standing there made us both freeze in our tracks. We were standing no more than 5 feet from some giant white monster. I was covered head to toe in thick. It was covered head to toe in thick white fur. That's a tongue. That's a tongue twister. And was just surprised to see us as we were of it. But before I could completely comprehend what I was seeing with speed, unbelievable size, it ran across the road and started to make its way up through the mountain. Towards my sister, in an instant, I screamed and hollered as much as I could, running as fast as my feet could take me to get to her and to scare this thing away from her. Thankfully, my hollering worked, and the creature turned its direction off the road and back into the mountain. Jo was annoyed with us, thinking that Phil and I were pulling a dumb Halloween prank on her. She urged us to keep going as we were just around the corner to the park. With horror, I realized quickly that the park must be this thing's home, and I had just scared it off the road. If we disturbed it any further, it could very well attack or kill us, and no one would know what happened. Thankfully, Phil managed to convince her to leave the mountain with us. To this day, she does not believe what we saw, but I honestly don't care. Let her. I wasn't going to let her walk to her death. My family, however, was surprised were not surprised by my story. In fact, they quietly told me that the park had been closed for a reason. I hadn't seen the reason with my own eyes, and I just hope to whatever and I hope to whatever being out there that no one else goes up that mountain and gets hurt. Wow. That was a run-in with a sheep squatch, guys. West Virginia's own Bigfoot. That was a good story. I don't want to watch that. Okay. All right, I got two more to do. Then we're gonna do the ghost hunt. So this one is from Dez in my Discord server. So Dez, shout out to you. Thank you for submitting this one. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so sorry about that. Excuse me. I had only truly entered the attic. So this is a creepypasta that he made. I had only truly entered the attic once before. Yet, but no matter how many times I had tried and failed to pass the entrance, there was always a feeling of dread that entered my mind. But this time, for the first time, I ignored it. Bracing myself and clasping the handle of the door and opening, the first thing that hit me was the smell. It was a musty smell that overpowered my senses, but still, I pressed on. It was only when I had reached the end of the attic that I felt that familiar feeling of dread. Soft whispers filled my ears, a muttering of incoherent nonsense that could only come from a mind of madness. Slowly, I inched my way towards the sound, leading myself towards the area of the attic where the lights did not reach yet. I persisted. My body was shrouded in complete darkness. That was when I saw them. A pair of scarlet eyes stared at me from within the shadows, eyes belonging to a creature concealed within the darkness. It continued to stare at me, unblinking, almost inquisitive, as if it was almost trying to discern if I was a threat or not. Slowly, slowly it approached, encroaching upon me. I couldn't even blink. My body refused to comply with my commands. I had been stricken, frozen with fear. As it got closer, I was able to see the figure. It was no animal, but a man. A horrible monster of a man, deformed beyond recognition, with scarlet eyes that glow in the night, long matted hair that passed its shoulders, accompanied by the horrible stench of rotten flesh that could have only come from a decaying animal. Their body wore only tattered clothes, stained red by the mutilated flesh that hung from it. The skin was barely visible, hidden under a mass of dry blood that stained it in a deep brown. No matter how many times I relive this moment, I am always stricken with the fear that had overtaken my body. The smell of the mutilated flesh that draped from the man's shoulders, the blood that had stained his skin. No matter how many times I try to forget the sight, no matter how many times I still remember his face, the look of horror had the look of horror that had plastered my own, with a face identical to my own. No matter how many times I try to forget, I cannot forget the horrors that I have committed. There was never a beast nor a man, only myself, covered in the sins of my past. But now I laugh. I am unbound. I am free. I have killed the man that was myself and freed myself from the chains that bound me. There was never a monster in the attic. There was only a part of myself that I denied. However, I am free now, and so is he. Thank you so much for submitting that, Des. I have one more story to read before we get to the main event. So this is the one that I wrote for my English class. I hope you all enjoy this. People say there are no such things as ghosts, and I have to agree with them. However, there are things in this world we don't understand, such as where do we go when we die, or why are things the way they are, and what is out there that we haven't discovered yet. I recently discovered something that every person has but may never ever experience. I was on my computer typing a paper. I was on my computer typing a paper on my dad's computer when suddenly I saw it. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a person. This startled me as no one was up at this hour, being 3 a.m. So I thought someone broke in, and when I blinked, the figure was gone. I ran to my parents' room and explained the situation groggily and explained the situation to my dad. Groggily, he grabbed his gun and ventured into the basement, and he didn't find anyone, but he did find the mutilated remains of freshly killed mice with their spines exposed and blood dripping from their corpses. I thought this was odd since we have no pets that could do this. My dad thought the mice did this to each other in a fight for territory, and he went back to bed. I gave up on my paper and went to my room to relax before going to bed. Suddenly, the power went out, which alarmed me. Which alarmed me. Suddenly, I heard the. Okay, yes. Which alarmed me. Suddenly, I heard the cackling from the corner of my room. So I looked over and saw a figure huddled in the corner of a room, and I guessed it saw me because it glanced over my direction, and those eyes, they weren't human. They glowed a bright white, like a cat's eye shine. The figure started to slowly walk closer to me, and the walk closer to me, and the closer it got, the more deformed it looked. Its head was crooked, its back hunched, and had bumps and bulges all over its body. Then it put its crooked head right in front of mine, and I gasped in horror because I was looking at myself. Unable to breathe, the creature answered the question I was thinking in my mind. I am you. It spoke in a distorted voice, similar to mine. I am the envy, the malice, the wrath inside of you. The bumps in the night, the visions in your peripherals, the nightmares is us trying to break free. The more you hate and foster negativity, the more we grow until we are strong enough to break free from the prison in your mind. And with one swift motion, the creature touched my head, and I blacked out. When I awoke, the first thing I saw was an open window. It was free. All right, guys. So it is now 11 o'clock my time. So, with that being said, I am going to go get some stuff, a flashlight and everything, and we will start part 2 of this live stream. So I will be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you guys all so much for coming out for for part 1, and I hope to see you guys very shortly in part 2. So until then, guys, I will be back very soon. Thank you all.